I don't know. Clearly. Okay, I'm gonna start again. Hi everyone, I'm Faye and today I'm gonna be talking about my experience with my septum piercing. So I got this about 4 years ago and I keep getting questions on if it still hurts, if it hurt when I got it, how the healing process was. So I decided to just make a video so I can address all of those concerns and maybe help some people out. So when I got it, I remember I was really nervous because I mean, you're getting a needle through your nose, so that's a bit nerve-wracking. But also because I've heard some horror stories of people getting like horrible piercings and so much pain and blah blah blah. But I have in total, if you count all of my ear piercings, I have about 15 piercings. So I am not new to this. So I did a lot of research on where the proper placement should be and what I should expect and all of that. And of course, with pain, it's always relative. Even with tattoos, some people can barely stand it and some people will actually fall asleep while getting tattooed because they find it great. It's the same with piercings. I have two friends who got their tragus done, and one of them said that she wanted to die because it hurts so bad, and the other one said she didn't even feel it. So it's really relative, it depends on the person, but I guess if you've already been pierced before, you will have a better idea of your pain tolerance and your threshold. For me, it didn't really hurt. I actually recorded a video an hour after I got it done, so I just rewatched it to remember how I felt, and it didn't really hurt. It hurt a little bit as the needle was going through, and then a little bit again when he was putting the jewelry, the horseshoe in, which was this one. I've never changed it, but then after that it was fine. You should look up your piercer, make sure that they know what they're doing, that they have a portfolio, or that they're gonna have a senior working with them, because everybody starts somewhere and not everybody's gonna have a lot of experience, but you want at least to have someone who has that experience tutoring the person that will be piercing you, because it can be very complicated. Piercing your cartilage is the most painful thing and is one of the worst spots to heal. So I have my double helix and I can make another video about it, but it took at least a year for it to stop feeling like a fresh piercing. So me having to baby it and clean and all of that all the time, and it would be hurting at night if I slept on it and all of that. So that would be the same if I got my cartilage pierced when I got this one done. Every nose is gonna be different because everybody has a different anatomy, like slightly different. Of course, we're all human, we all have the same things, but it's always slightly different. And right here at the tip, you can feel it with your own fingers. At the tip of my nose, I could always feel that there was kind of like an empty spot, so where there was no cartilage anymore, it was just skin, and that's where I got pierced. So it's way up here, and you can't really see where it is, but it depends on the person's nose, right? Because I've seen pictures of someone who this little, I'm gonna call it a bridge in between your nostrils, for them it was a bit lower, so you could see it when they were on their profile, so you could see where the piercing was, and if they took the piercing out, you could see the hole, you could see through the hole, which is something. That's where it should be, and it will vary for everyone, as I've said about 5 times now. And a good piercer will have the knowledge of that, and they will look for it before they start piercing you. So just make sure you find a reputable piercer. There is a group on Facebook called Ask a Professional Piercer. It's a group formed by a bunch of piercers that they have a lot of knowledge, they have a lot of experience, and they help people out. It's not for people who like piercing to be posting. Like if you have a piercing and you have a problem, or you have a question about a kind of piercing, you can post a picture and ask about it, but the professionals are the only ones who are allowed to answer. So it is, I really like it because it's not a bunch of hearsay or a bunch of like I think, or just like personal opinions of people that don't really have credentials to be talking about it. So that was very helpful for me when I was researching all of these things that I'm talking about now. And it's really good if you want to get a different kind of piercing and you're not sure, or if you already got a piercing and you're not sure if it's healing well, you can always just like snap a picture and post it in there. I'll see if I can find a link and just leave it down below so you can just join the group and ask your questions there. From the video that I was watching of myself, I said that maybe half an hour after getting it done, I felt something stinging, and I think it was just because there's like liquids inside of nose, and those were just like finally getting to the spot where it was freshly pierced, and that caused some sort of like irritation. But then it was gone and it was fine. I just made sure to clean it with a saline solution. Saline? One of those. How do you say that? I don't know. Clearly. I just made sure to clean it up, and I used a cotton swab or a Q-tip. But you have to be careful with those because they can leave strands of cotton behind, and that can irritate your piercing and cause all the healing problems to happen. So just be very mindful of that. It's better if you have gauze, and you can just use that because that is designed not to leave any traces behind and not to cause infection. A lot of people will tell you to use sea salt and add that to hot water and make your own soak or solution, but with the information I have and with my own experience, that is not as helpful as buying the saline ready-made at the pharmacy, at the drugstore. I found it at Walmart as well. It can either come just in a bottle, or it comes in a spray. The spray can be quite violent, so I wouldn't put the spray like straight on the piercing because it could hurt. You just put it in a little container and then use a little swab to clean it up, because even if you're boiling the water, you're not killing any bacteria that would be there. You may be killing some of it, but not all of it, so it's not like you're making it sterile. Also, sea salt is not necessarily sterile, but if you buy the saline solution, then everything is already in the right proportions so that it's actually effective into cleaning without causing any disturbances in the natural balance of your liquids. I don't know words. Anyways, so it's just better to already buy it ready-made. If you don't have access to that, the water with the salt will work fine. It's not a huge problem, just don't add a lot of salt. The excess of salt may cause irritation, and you don't want that to be happening. A lot of professionals have told me that your body is a healing machine, so you don't really have to be bathing your piercing all that much, because it may actually be interfering with the healing process, right? So if there are crusties, you do want to clean them up, but not every 10 minutes. You want to clean it up maybe 2 or 3 times a day. Otherwise, you're just going to be overdoing it, and you're actually going to be slowing down the healing process, because your body's like, I'm healing this, and then you disturb it and you take it all off, and your body's like, okay, I'm gonna start again. I'm healing this, and then you just keep interfering, and then it just takes forever to heal. Like, it will heal eventually, but it will just take much longer, and it can cause complications. So just like let your body do its job and take care of it. If there is an infection, you want to see an actual doctor or go back to your piercer and see if that's fine, if that's normal. You can go to that Facebook group that I said and ask them if this is normal, because there, like, some redness and swelling will be normal in the first 3 days, maybe a week. But after that, if it's still really bad, maybe you just have to take it off because it wasn't properly done. Also, you want to make sure that it's straight instead of like this or like that or like this, because then it doesn't look good. It will heal, but it just doesn't look good, and it makes it more difficult, and then the jewel would just be in an odd angle all the time, which is just strange. The most important thing is finding a reputable professional to do your piercing. Reputable doesn't mean expensive. Expensive does not mean good. It just means expensive. So just do your search, and they can even help you find someone in your area who they trust to do a good job on your piercings. So pain afterwards, it healed in about a month, really. It was really fast. It didn't really hurt much. It was only bad one day I was taking off a shirt and it was like a crew neck and it hit my nose, and that hurt like a lot. It was bad. So just like be mindful and aware of the pierced area and try not to bump it into things. If you're gonna be making out or kissing someone, just be aware of your nose not to be scrunching it, because it is gonna hurt. And again, it's gonna interfere with the healing process, right? My nose nowadays, it still hurts if I go like this. Like, it doesn't like, oh my god, it hurts, but I feel some discomfort. Like it aches a little bit if I go like this. Not like that or like this or like that, just here. I'm not really sure why, but other than that, that's it. I don't even remember it's there. One thing that is funny is that there is a piece of metal in your nose, so for the first day you may think, you may feel like your nose is running all the time, so you're like and sniffling, and there's nothing there. It's just because it's cold and it's against your skin, so your brain registers as liquid, but it's just a piece of metal. But and your body adapts really quickly, so that stops being an issue. Sometimes I feel like that if my piercing goes like that, because then the little ball will be touching my nose on the inside, and I'm like, what's going on? But now I already know that it's because my piercing is crooked. So I think that's everything. I'm not sure. Do you have a piercing? Did you have a horrible experience with getting a piercing done? Did you feel a lot of pain, or was it just fine? Do you have like 5 piercings on your nose and never had a problem with it? Let me know how your experiences were, and if you have any other questions about the septum piercing in particular. Also leave a thumbs up if you want me to talk about my other piercings. I can make a video that is about all of them, or one for each of them. Yeah, I hope this was helpful and informative, and you learned something today. Let me know if you have any more questions. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell down below so you get notifications whenever I post new videos. And I'll see you on my next video.